discuss. We're going to discuss the second topic, on business application, right? Business application, and then if we have time, we will also move on to inequalities. So before that, let's do a quick recap on what we learned in last week's lecture. So in the first topic, we learned about basic mathematical operations. And we have learned different operation, and different operation have different priorities. For example, following the BITMAS rule, the brackets has the bracket has the highest priority, right? So bracket followed by index, and then division or multiplication, they're at the same level, and then addition or subtraction, is the last. So following this BITMAS rule, then we can perform the operation. And then we have also learned decimals, decimal numbers, where you have the decimal point. And for the operation on decimals, it is the same for integers. The addition, subtraction, multiplication, and divisions, all the rules is following this BITMAS rule. And then for fraction, we need to identify the numerator and denominator. And then if the denominator is not the same, we need to make the denominator equal, or we need to make the denominator the same before we perform the operation. We can write a fraction in terms of proper fraction or improper fraction, which can be also changed to a mixed number. Improper fraction can be changed to mixed number. For the operation on fraction, you need to multiplying the fraction by inverting the numerator and denominator. That is for dividing of fraction. For example, you want to do 2 divided by 2 over 5. So if you want to do 2 over 5, right? So this is a fraction, right? So if this is a fraction, you can change this one to multiplication, and then by turning this upside down, inverting it. So this becomes 5 over 2, and this becomes 5, right? 2 and 2 cancel out. So that is when you perform a division operation on fraction, right? So that is fraction, and then we also discuss the formula for percentage change, where the formula is given as new minus old value divided by old times 100%. This is to convert it into the percentage. So given the new, so here we need to have the percentage change. So sometimes you may be given the new value and the percentage change, and you are asked to find the old value. So to find the old value, you just do a substitution. So here you must be given this percentage change and a new value, and you can substitute the old value using a variable. Let's say you use x, and you can just bring all the values to one side, either to the left or to the right, to get the old value, to get the value for the variable. Or you may be asked to find a new value. So if you're asked to find a new value, you must be given the percentage change and also the old value. You need to have at least 2. You need to have at least 2 values to find the other variable. If you only have 1, then you are not able to find the variable. For example, if you want to find the change, you need to have both new and old. You need to have 2 variables values. So that is a percentage change. And then we have also discussed how to expand a function, to make the function bigger or longer. So in terms of multiplication, if you have bracket means multiplication. multiplies. So here you just multiplies in the coefficient, into the bracket, into this function. Yeah, we have the function where it is given in this form. Fx represents the function. X here is the variables, and the coefficient is the number that is associated with the variables. For example, we have 2x squared. Yeah, 2 is the coefficient. Yeah, it is the number that is associated with the variables. The variables here is x. X squared means it is a quadratic. It is quadratic function, where the highest power is 2. Yeah, that is known as quadratic. If you have linear function, then the highest power for x or for the variable is just 1. For example, fx equal to x plus 1. There is a linear function. Yeah. So expand the function, you make it bigger, yeah, or longer. And then to simplify a function, you make it shorter. Yeah, you simplified it. So to simplify a function, that means that you need to collect the common term, or factor. For example, in this case here, x appears in both here, this one and this one, this term and this term, the first and the second. So you can bring x, bring it to outside, bring it to either to the left or to the right, bring it out, and then put it in a plus b in bracket. Yeah. Similarly, for this one here, the common term is x plus y, because x plus y exists in both of these terms. Yeah, both of these terms. So bring x plus y out, bring it out, and then a plus b, put it in the bracket. Right. We have also discussed some examples. Yeah, in exercise 2 and 3. Now, if you have any questions in here, I asked you last time, do all the question in exercise 1, and for this exercise you need to do question 1 to 4, right? So do you have any questions? Yeah. Do you have any questions that you want me to discuss? In exercise 1 or in exercise 2 and 3? You have any questions, class? I can have a quick discussion with you. If you don't have question, then I will just move on, yeah? If you don't have question, I will just move on. Do you have any question that you want me to discuss with you? Question 3E, you mean this one? You mean exercise 2 and 3, yeah? Okay. So here, first we need to expand and simplify, right? So expand is to make it bigger. So square term here means multiplies. Yeah. For example, if you have x squared means x times x, right? That's x squared. If you have x plus 1 squared, that means that x plus 1 times x plus 1. And I have shown you how to perform this operation when you do the multiplication of two terms. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Yeah. So it's similar here. It's similar, just that this one is in fraction. All right. So first we need to expand it. We need to do the multiplication, and then we simplify the answer. Right. So here, multiply with this one. That is the meaning of this square, right? So again, for this one, you do this 1, 2, 3, and right, four steps. So x squared, y squared, and then this one times this, minus plus become minus, xy 2y, right? And then minus plus again become minus, so 2y xy. And then finally plus y squared over 4. This is minus, so becomes plus, right? So now x squared, y squared minus this one here, because this is 2y and 2y, so they are the same, right? The denominator is the same. So you can minus this. Minus xy, so become negative 2xy or minus 2xy. And then 2y here plus y squared over 4. Okay, now these 2 and 2 can be cancelled out, right? So you can, and then y and y cancel out because this is division. So the answer is x squared over y squared minus x plus y squared over 4. Yeah, is the answer like this? Or if it's represented in a more simplified term. This is 3e. You can check your answer. Yeah, I've also uploaded the answer on BB, so you can check your answer. 3e. Yeah, so that is the answer. X squared over y squared minus x plus y squared over 4. So that is the simplest form. Right? Okay. So this square here means it's just a multiplication. It's a multiplication of this. Yeah, just like x squared is x times x. Similarly, this one here, for this one, last time I think I've explained this one. You have to perform the multiplication. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times. Yeah, step by step. Okay, so do you have any other questions? If no, then I will just proceed. I will just proceed. We'll leave the interval first. We will discuss the business application first. Yeah, and then if when we have if you have time today, we will go back to this interval. Right. So skip these 2 questions first. I'm going to explain business application, and the exercise will be question 7 to question 14. Yeah, 7 to 14. Okay, so in business application, we're going to discuss price, revenue, cost, and profit. Basically, these are just the basic, basic in business. So the cost is given as the function of x, cx. So c represents the cost. We normally put this one, the uppercase, the uppercase c. The x here is the input, or it is the variable. Yeah, x represents the number of units produced, or it is a quantity, right? So it is function of x, where x is the number of units produced. So for example, cx equals to an equation, let's say a function a plus bx plus cx squared, right? So a, b, c here, they are the coefficient. Can't write it in PDF. So a, b, c, they are the coefficients. They are known as the coefficient. And x here is the variables. In this case here, it is a quadratic function because the highest power for x here is 2, right? So a plus bx plus cx squared is a quadratic function. A, b, c here, it is a number. Sometimes it is given directly to you, the number itself. For example, 2x squared plus x minus 3. Yeah, so that is also a quadratic equation, a quadratic function. Or if it is given in this form, a here means the coefficient. Yeah, it means the coefficient, and maybe you, I mean, it contains a number. ABC is just a number, but sometimes it is given in this form where you are asked to find the coefficient of ABC, for example. Okay. So A here is a fixed cost. Yeah, it's a fixed cost, whereas bx plus cx squared is a variable cost. So there are 2 types of cost. Yeah, there are 2 types of cost, fixed cost and variable cost, or we also call it total variable cost. Now, fixed cost here is independent of x, meaning that it is fixed. Example of fixed cost is like the rental, the rental, or the bills, the utilities bill. So these are fixed costs, because regardless of how many units you produce, this cost will remain the same. Yeah, the rental, the utilities bill, all this, will remain the same. So these are called fixed costs, where they are independent of the quantity. They are independent of the units produced, the number of units produced. Yeah, they don't depend on the quantity. For the variable cost, it contains the x term. It contains the variable x. For example, here, bx plus cx squared. Yeah, it has the x value. Yeah, x, and this is x squared. Yeah, x squared is also x because it is x times x. So this part here is known as the total variable cost because it depends on the number of units produced. For example, the more units produced, the higher is the total variable cost. Yeah, this would be, for example, the material cost. Yeah, the material cost. So the more units you produce, the higher is the material cost or the production cost. Yeah, the cost of production. So this is the total variable cost. As long as it contains x, that is the total variable cost, right? Now, for the average cost, average here means the mean. Yeah, MEAN, the mean, the average cost. So the average cost, we will take the total cost divided by the x, the quantity. Yeah, CX divided by x. So the average variable cost would be, we take the total variable cost divided by the quantity, right? TVC, that is a total variable cost divided by the quantity, or it is also known as per unit variable cost. So in this case here, the total variable cost is BX plus CX squared. And then you can divide it by X. So given the cost function here, the general cost function given here is AX plus BX plus CX squared, right? So A here, because A, it doesn't have any X, it doesn't have the variable. So this is known as the fixed cost, yeah, FC. The abbreviation we use for a fixed cost is FC. Then this part, it has this X here. It contains the X, the variable X. So that is known as the variable cost or the total variable cost. It doesn't really matter you put the total or not. Yeah, there is the total variable cost. Now, for the average cost, or we call it AC. AC is the overall cost, the cost function divided by the quantity. So in this case here, Cx is given in this form. So it's A plus Bx plus Cx squared divided by x. So this one can be further simplified into this. A over x plus B plus Cx, right? Because this is A divided by x. When Bx divided by x, you cancel the x. Yeah, cancel the x. So it just B plus Cx squared divided by x. And then here you cancel 1 with 1 x here. So it becomes Cx. So that is the average average cost, AC, right? Whenever you see average, that means that you have to divide that by the quantity. Yeah, you have to divide it by the quantity. Now, for the average variable cost, AVC, yeah, average variable cost, you need to take the total variable cost divided by the quantity, right? So TVC just now is BX plus CX squared over X divided by the quantity. So X and X cancel, so B plus CX, right? So that is the average variable cost. Okay, this is also known as per unit variable cost. This is also equivalent to per unit variable cost. And sometimes the term here is used interchangeably, per unit variable cost. Per unit means average, right? Now, of course, this one here, because it is given in this form, in the general form, if it is given in number, probably it will be, it is easier for you to see. Let's say now Cx is given in a function, quadratic function. where A, B, C values are given. Yeah. So if Cx now is given as 2x squared plus 3x minus 4. Right? So it's given like this. So if it's given like this, the computation is also the same. If you are asked to find the fixed cost, what is the fixed cost? This would be plus. Yeah, the fixed cost is 4. Yeah, because this is the number that doesn't have any x. Yeah, and what is the variable cost or the total variable cost? It is 2x squared minus 3x, this part here, right? Now, if you are asked to find the average cost or average variable cost, yeah, average variable cost, then you take 2x squared divided by s minus 3x divided by x, and this becomes 2x minus 3, right? Average variable cost or per unit variable cost. So you can see here, the A, B, C, the coefficient here we give here is just a coefficient. It's just a coefficient, and normally in the question you'll be given a number. You'll be given a number like this. Yeah? So now the revenue, as you may already know, revenue is price times quantity. Yeah, price times quantity. So price here is given as the P. Yeah, P times X. So revenue function is given as Rx, and this is P times X. All right, P times X. The price will be given it will be given as a function as well. Yeah, we will see the example later on. Now, what is the profit? So the profit is given as big P. Yeah, this is this P, this capital P or uppercase P is different from this. The small letter, the lowercase or the small letter P is this stand for the price. Yeah, this stand for the price, and this stand for the unit, number of units or the quantity. Whereas for the profit function, it is a capital letter, is uppercase P. So PX is revenue minus cost. So it is RX minus CX, right? RX minus CX. Now, let's look at this example. Yeah, given a firm has the demand function P equals to 70 minus 3x. So in this demand function, P represents the price and X represents the quantity or the units, because the demand here, I mean, the price depends on the X. Yeah, the price, the higher is the demand, the lower is the price. Yeah, and the other way around. The lower is the demand, if the demand is lower, the price will be higher. Yeah, if the demand is higher, the price will be lower, right? So that is governed by this equation. Yeah, the price equals to the I mean, here in terms of the quantity. Yeah, and the total cost function is given as this, right? So here we list them out. So given this one, P equals to 70 minus 3x, this is the price function. Yeah? And then the cost function is given as 300 plus 10x. So find the fixed cost. What is the fixed cost? Then find the total variable cost. What is the fixed cost here? whichever number that doesn't have x, that is 300. Yeah, as simple as this. And the total variable cost is 10x, right? So this is very simple, and I can tell you that this question will always come up in the exam, yeah, in the midterm or in the final exam, yeah, midterm and both midterm and final. This question, business application question, will always come up in the exam, and this stuff in the question it will ask you exactly like this: what is the fixed cost and what is the total variable cost? And this give you 2 marks. If you write this one correctly, you got 2 marks. Yeah, as simple as this. Yeah, this is the type of question that I want everyone to get full mark, because this is just like to give you marks, to give you marks. So you just write the answer 300, that's the fixed cost, and the total variable cost 10x. You will get 2 marks. Yeah, as simple as this. You don't need to do calculation, just to identify which one is fixed cost and which one is total variable cost. And then the average variable cost. Average variable cost as well as the average cost. Now, as I said, when you see the word average, that means that you have to divide it by the x, by the quantity. So in this case, it is average variable cost. You need to take the variable cost divided by the x. So that is TVC, the total variable cost, divided by x. So it's 10x over x. In this case, x cancel out, so 10. Yeah, average variable cost is 10. Average cost, again, this word here, average. As long as you see average, it will be the cost. What is this? Cost means the total cost. So your average cost. So this would be the total cost. Yeah, or the cost function divided by x. So the cost function is this one, 300 plus 10x, right? Divided by x. So this would be 300 over x plus 10. That is the average cost. So that is question A. Yeah, and this one here, if you have this question in the exam, this will be 4 marks. Yeah, as simple as this. You just do some simple. This one you don't even need to do calculation. These two just simple calculation, right? Now, an expression for the revenue function in terms of x. So you need to find the revenue function. So revenue is P times X, right? Price times quantity. And you already have the P here. Yeah, you already have the P here. 70 minus 3x. And you just need to multiply this one with x. Yeah, times it with x. So 7x minus 3x squared. So that is the revenue function. Sometimes you may not be given the price function directly. Sometimes you may be given like this: x equals to 70 minus 3p, like this. So now if you are given the demand function like this, then you need to find the p. So you can easily find the p here by bringing all the other numbers to one side. Yeah, to this side, for example. So here you take this one, x minus 70 equals to negative 3p. And then p equals to x minus 70 over negative 3. Yeah, so that is the p function. And you can use this p function in this to substitute here. Yeah, if you are given the demand function like this. Yeah. Or sometimes you may be given not as direct like this. So you may have something like p plus 3x equals to 70, given the demand function is governed by this equation. And in this case, it will be the same. P equals to, bring this to the other side, so 70 minus 3x, exactly the same as this price function, isn't it? Yeah. So sometimes you may not be given just directly like this, and you need to do some, here manipulation here. Yeah, just bring the all the variables and numbers to one side, and the variable that you want on one side. Yeah. Okay, so that is revenue. All right, revenue function. Now question C, express the profit function. Find the profit function. And we know that the profit equals to revenue minus cost. Right? Revenue minus cost. We have the revenue function and we have the cost function. You can easily do the subtraction, right? So now revenue is this one. Minus, now be careful with this minus sign. Yeah, so you have to put it in bracket because it's minus the whole cost function, that is 70, where is it? 300 plus 10x, 300 plus 10x. Yeah, given here, cost function 300 plus 10x. So this become, here this is quadratic function. Normally we put it the first at the first one. Yeah, negative 3x squared. And then this is 70x minus 10x. So plus 60x minus 300. Yeah. Be careful with this one. I don't want you to do careless mistake. This is 70x minus plus 10x. So minus plus become minus. So 70 minus 10 plus 60x. Yeah. Because if you do careless mistake here, you will do, I mean, all the subsequent calculation will be wrong if it is based on this profit function. All right. So I don't want you to do this careless mistake here. Please, if you tend to do this type of mistake, double check your answer. All right. I don't want you to lose marks because of like this careless mistake, and for all the subsequent calculation you get all wrong. Right. So here, this is important. Yeah. If you put minus, that is wrong. Or if you do, I mean, if you put other than plus 60x, that will be wrong. So that is a profit function. Now, the way you put it, this one doesn't matter. You can put 60x minus 3x squared minus 300. Yeah, the order here is not important. As long as you have these three terms here. You have this negative 3x squared, you have this 60x, you have this minus 300. Yeah, so the order here, how do you put it? It doesn't matter. You can put like this, which is also considered correct, as long as you have these three terms, right? The plus minus sign must be correct. Now question D is the values of X for which the firm breaks even. So what does it mean by break even? Break even means that there is no profit or no loss, right? Zero profit, zero profit, zero loss. Yeah, no loss. So that means that here, profit equals to zero. Break-even points means profit function, profit equals to zero. That means because profit equals to revenue minus cost. So in this case here, revenue equals to cost. That is the break-even point. Yeah, that is profit equals to zero also means that revenue equals exactly to the cost. Yeah, so just now we have found that the profit function is negative 3x squared plus 60x minus 300. And when this one equal to zero, what is the x? Here we need to find the value of x, that is a quantity. Yeah, the value of x for which the firm breaks even. So we need to find the x such that the profit is zero, right? Such that it breaks even. So how do we do this? this is quadratic function. Yeah, for quadratic function, we need to do the factorization. Factorization. Now this is, you can bring the 3 out. Yeah, this is -3, so you can divide it by 3 first. Or you can actually use your calculator to do it. Yeah. Wait. Let me show you the calculator link. Yeah, actually, yeah, you can find it on YouTube. Yeah. Okay, let me show you on YouTube. The grammar spelling are important. Can you see this? Now, wait. Now this is using the calculator to do the factorization. To do the factorization of a quadratic equation. And the model of the calculator here is a ES. Yeah, ES model. Later on, I'll be showing you using the MS model. As I said, the ES is a newer version. Yeah, if you are using ES model, you can watch this video. How is the factorization can be done using the calculator. And if using the MS model, I'll be showing you in the next video, right? Can you can you hear the sound? No? Okay, if you can't hear it, so this is the equation, right? You select the mode, and then you see here you choose wait. So you choose mode on your calculator, and then you choose this equation, right? Number 5. Number 5 equation. And then you choose the quadratic one. The quadratic is given in number 3, right? This is quadratic. You can even solve to cubic function. Number 4 is cubic. You can see the highest term, the highest power is 3. In this case here, the highest power is 2. So you choose number 3, right? Choose number 3. That is the quadratic equation. So I choose 3. And now you will see your calculator here is asking for the A, B, and C coefficients. Yeah, A, B, and C coefficients value. So in this example here, the A, B, and C is this one. This is ax squared plus bx plus c. So A here means 1 because here we just omit the 1. We don't write 1. But in our case here, it would be -3. That is the A value. B, right? Positive 60. You don't need to put positive. You just put 60. And then C is negative 300, right? So here we just put the A is 1, and then use your cursor, use this arrow here to move on to the next one, 7, and then move on to the next one, 10. And then just click equal. Yeah, C is 10. And then just hit equal. So you will see x1 equals to negative 2 given by the calculator. And then x2 equals to negative 5. So you're going to factorize it. There are two terms. So if the answer is given is minus 2, here when you put it in the factorization, you have to switch it around. So it becomes plus. Yeah, minus 2 becomes plus 2. And this is minus 5 become plus 5. Okay, if the answer given by the calculator is x equals to negative 30, right? Then when you put it in the factorization, it becomes plus 30 like this. Okay, why is it this one becomes like this? Because here you need to put it in a term like this. So this one, you bring it to the left, becomes x plus 30 equals to 0. And this is exactly the form that we need to put it in here. Yeah, so the answer given, if it's negative, you have to put plus here. If it's positive, let's say x squared equals to positive 100. And then here you need to put x minus 100. Because you bring this to the left, it becomes minus 100 equals to 0. So you have minus here, right? So whatever values, I mean, if the calculator gives you minus, you have to put plus here. If the calculator gives you plus, then you have to put minus here. Okay, so this is the ES model. Yeah, the ES model. If you can't find if you can't find EQN equation under your mod function, that means your calculator doesn't have this function. Yeah, doesn't have this function. So you can check on the calculator. If you have this function, that is much easier for you. Yeah, and this would be the MS version of calculator. So this is another quadratic equation where A is 4, B is negative 7, and C is 3, right? So again, you hit the mod. So click this mod here. 1, press 3 times. Yeah. So press 3 times until you see EQN. EQN stands for equation, right? MAT stands for matrix. You can also use calculator to do matrix. Yeah, but we don't learn matrix in this course. I mean, you maybe you have learned it before in your high school. You can actually use a calculator to do matrices, and that is actually very, very helpful because you can use this to find the inverse of a matrix. For example, a 3 by 3 matrix. Yeah, that is, if you do it manually, it is complicated. It's a long step. And VCT stands for vectors, but we don't use it here. We just use EQN, right? So choose 1, that is EQN. And then now you will see unknowns. Yeah, you will see unknowns. So in this case here, there is only one unknown. So you will enter this arrow button. You click next. Scroll to the right, degree. Yeah. Just now it asks for unknowns. Unknowns is when you have more than one unknowns. For example, you have A and B. Let's say if you want to solve equation where you have two unknowns. Let's say something like 2x plus 3y equals to 5. And then 2 or 3x plus y equals to 4. Something like this. Yeah, you have x and y. In this case here, there are two unknowns, and you should choose the one unknown just now. But in our case here, we only have one unknown, that is x. Yeah, so you just hit this, the scroll to the right, or the arrow, yeah, the arrow key to the right until you get this degree. In this case here, degree is 2. You can solve to degree 3 as well when it is cubic. Yeah, so it's degree 2, choose number 2. I will give you the link later on. Yeah, I will post it on BB, and you can, if you want to watch this video, you can also go to the link and watch it. Right. Yeah, choose 2. Yeah, degree 2. So now it's asking for A. A is 4. So just click 4 and then equal. B is negative 7. Yeah, so minus 7 equal 3 and then equal. So x1 now is 1. X2 equals to 0.75. Now, how do you change this one to fraction? You can press this one. Last time I told you, you can change a decimal number to a fraction. Yeah, that is 3 over 4. Now, how do you turn this one into the factorization form? So this becomes minus. So this is x minus 1, right? And this would be x minus 3 over 4. And then you bring the 4 up, becomes 4x minus, because 4x minus 3. Okay, so in this example here, you got, from the calculator, you got x equals to 1, and then x equals to 3 over 4. Now, to turn this one into this form, you have to, this is plus, so it becomes, when you put it here, it becomes minus, right? And this becomes minus as well. X minus 3 over 4. Now, if you put it like this, it is like not correct. I mean, it looks strange because you have like the fraction here. So if you want to get rid of this fraction, what do? You multiply with 4. You bring this 4 up here. That means that you multiply this one with 4 and this one also 4. So bring this up. So it becomes x minus 1 and then 4x minus 3. Yeah, so that's how you got this. All right. Just like when you have x, if you found the calculator give you 7 over 20. Yeah, and you want to turn this one into this form. So this is x, let's say x equal to 1 and x equal to minus 1, x equal to 7 over 20. So this becomes x plus 1. This becomes 20x minus 7. Okay, plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus, and this 20, you bring it up here. And this simply becomes 7. Okay, same for here. So now you can use your calculator to find this. Yeah, to find the factorization for this. So key in negative 3, A, there is a A, 60 is a B, negative 300 is C in your calculator. And tell me what is the X value that you get from your calculator. So you get X equals to 10 and just 10. Right? X equal to 10. Yeah. So x equal to 10 only. Yeah, you don't have x1 and x2 because that means that both x equals to 10. So this is x minus 10. This is also x minus 10. Right? So x equals to 10. That is the break-even point. That is the quantity that the firm needs to produce in order to achieve break-even. Now, if you were to do this factorization, how would you do it? If you do it manually, if you do it manually, if you don't have the calculator to do it, so you will do it manually. So to do the factorization, let's erase this. Okay. Now, to do the factorization, first, you can bring out this 3 because this is the common term. Yeah, bring this negative 3 out. So this becomes x squared, this becomes 20x, and this becomes plus 100. Bring the negative out, right? And then do the factorization for this. Yeah, so this is x squared, so you have x and x here. Now look at this sign. If this is a plus sign, you may have plus or plus, both plus or both minus. Yeah, if you have plus signs, you may have both plus or both minus. If you have a minus sign, you may have plus minus or minus plus. Yeah, because now if you have a minus sign, you may have 1 plus 1 minus, plus minus or minus plus. If you have plus, you may have plus plus or minus minus, right? So in this case, you have plus. So it may be plus plus or maybe minus minus. Now look at this one. Because this is minus. So if this is minus, then you should have minus minus. You can't have both plus plus. If you have both plus plus, this would be also plus, right? But because this is minus, so the only possibility is minus minus, right? It is minus minus. This minus. So what is the common factor for 100? So common factor for 100, you may have 1 times 100. You may have 2 times 50. You may have 4 times 25. You may have 5 times 20. You may have 10 times 10. Okay? So these are all the possible factors. There are possible factors for 10. Now, look at this one. This is 20. In order to get 20, you can't have 1 and 100. If you take 1 and 100, you will have you either add them up or do subtraction. You will either have 101 or 99, which is incorrect. 2 and 50 is not correct because 2 and 50, you will either get 52 if you add them up. If you minus, it would be 48. So it's impossible because it's 20 here. 4 and 25 is also impossible because you will either get 21 or 29. This is also impossible because you will get either 15 or 25. Now this is correct. 10 and 10, you will get 20 or 0. Yeah, in this case, it's 20. So it's 10 and 10 here. Right? So now x equals to 10. Yeah, x equal to 10. Exactly what we got just now using calculator. X equal to 10. So x equal to 10, that is the value of x that makes the break even, that makes the profit equals to 0. Right? We will skip the break first. Yeah, we will skip the break and then we will have a 20 minutes break later. Okay, so that is the answer for this. The values of the values, yeah, it can be one value or more than one. In this case here, both values are the same, so it's just only one value. Right. Now we shall discuss some of the examples in exercise 2, this one here. Now, this is almost the same. Yeah, this is almost the same as the question just now. So I'm not going to discuss this one with you, right? Now this one, question 9. Yeah, in exercise 2. Or I just put it here. Now, given a demand function, this one, yeah, and average cost function is this one. Find the expression of the profit and so on. So in this case here, you see the demand function, this is the price. And this time, instead of given X, this means quantity. This is the X. If you don't like X, if you don't like Q, you can just put it as X. This is just like 3X plus P equals to 29, right? And the average cost function is given as 30 over X plus 10. If you don't like the Q here, it's just using another name to define the quantity. You're using Q. So if you prefer X, you can change it to X like this. Yeah. So find the expression of the profit function. So what is the profit? Profit equals to revenue minus cost, right? Revenue minus cost. In this case here, you don't have revenue, neither of cost. So you need to find the revenue and cost function first. So what is revenue? Revenue means P times X, right? Price times quantity. So P times X. Now what is P? So in this case here, 3X plus P equals 29. So P equals to bring the 3X to the right hand side. So 29 minus 3X. So that is the P, right? Now P times X. That becomes 29X minus 3X squared, right? So that is revenue. Now the cost function. This is the average cost. Yeah, average, average variable. Not variable, yeah, just average cost. AC. Yeah, AC. So average cost is given as this one. How do we get average cost? When we divide the total cost with the X, right? This is when we divide the total cost with X. So now if you want to find the total cost, we have to take average cost times X, isn't it? Yeah, bring this to the right or to the left. So AC times X. Yeah, so take the average cost now times with the X, the quantity, right? So the cost function equals to AC times X. That is, what is AC? AC is 30 over X plus 10. Multiply it with X. So it's 10X plus 30, right? Or 30 plus 10X. Doesn't matter you put 10X plus 30 or 30 plus 10X. Yeah. So that is the cost function. Now we have revenue and the cost. We can easily compute the profit function. So that is 29X minus 3X squared, the revenue minus the cost. So here negative 3X squared, 29X minus 10. So plus 19 minus 30, right? That is a profit function. And then find the values of Q for which the firm breaks even. Again, find the X value. Find that in this case here, we use X instead of Q, right? Then find the value of Q which the firm makes a loss of 44 units. So loss means minus. Yeah, it means that when the profit is minus 44. Yeah, when the profit is minus 44, find the X. So first we need to find the break-even point. That is when profit equals to 0. Okay, so when profit equals to 0, we can do the factorization for this. Yeah, either using your calculator or you do it manually. Now, if I do it manually, this one cannot be further simplified. So I will just take 3 here and 1 here. And the minus here can be either here or here. I just try an error. Yeah. So since this is minus, so if this is minus, here will be 1 plus and 1 minus. Yeah. So I just try plus and minus first. It may be minus and plus. And then to get 30, what is the possibility? What is the possible terms for 30 here? 2 times 15, 6. In this case here, 30. Okay, let's put it here. 30 equals to 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, 5 times 6. Yeah, that's it. Now, this one should be, so I will try 10 and 3 and 10. Yeah, because there is this 3 here. So here would be 10 and 3. Okay, now let's see. So minus, this becomes plus, plus. Okay, so this is now is correct. So you just, here you just have to try an error, right? But actually I just checked with my calculators. I know it is like this. Yeah, I just check the calculator. So you can see that here, this is minus 3x squared. This is plus 9x plus 10x. So it's plus 19x. And then minus 30. So that is correct. So in this case here, x equals to negative 10 over negative 3, which is 10 over 3, right? And here is x equals to 3. X equal to, just put it, x equal to 10 over 3, x equal to 3. So these two values will be the x that make break even, make the firm break even. Yeah. So x equal to 10 over 3, which is 3 point, if you put it in decimal number, is 3.33. Yeah, x equal to 3. Now, if you use your calculator, you'll see that the answer given is x1 equals to 3, and then x2 equal to 10 over 3, right? So if you turn it into this way, it becomes x minus 3. This becomes x minus 10 over 3, and bring this 3 up. Bring this 3 up. So 3x minus 10, right? Just like this. And in fact, you can put this minus, because it's negative 3, so you put it outside. So it's like this when you do the factorization. Yeah, so x equal to 3 and x equal to 10 over 3. Right? And the next one would be when the when the firm is making a loss of 44, right? 44 units. So when profit equals to 44, minus 44. So that is when profit equals to minus 44, right? So now, just now, the profit function is negative 3x squared plus 19x minus 30 equals to negative 44. So solve this equation to get the x value. So now negative 3x squared plus 19x minus 30 plus 44. Yeah, so plus 14 equals to 0, right? Minus 40 plus 44. Bring this to the left. So now solve it again using your calculator. So you find now, if you use your calculator, you will find x1 equals to -2/3, and then x2 equals to 7. So how do you turn this one into factorization? So this would be 3x minus 2 plus, become plus, x minus 7 equals to 0. Yeah? That is how you got x equal to -2/3x equals to 7. Yeah, or if you want to put it like negative, you can either put it outside like this, or you can also bring it in. If you bring it in, this becomes minus. Yeah, -3x minus 2 equals to 0, so that you got x equals to 2/-3 like this. Okay, you can also check. If you multiply in, you will check. -3x squared is correct. Negative become positive. So 21 minus 2, so it's plus 19x. And this one is plus 14. Correct. Yeah. So now x1 equals -2/3. X represents a quantity, right? That is the Q quantity. So in this case here, this is not accepted. Yeah. So this would be ignore. It's just this quantity, because x cannot be negative. How can you produce -2/3 units, right? So x2 equals to 7. That is acceptable. Yeah, so just x equal to 7. Right, that is the units, number of units that makes the loss of 44. Yeah, 44 here, it means if it's in dollar, then it will be $44. Yeah, because the units for the cost or the profit is not given. That's question 9. Right, this is the answer is here, ignore, and this is 7. Now going to discuss which one. Maybe question 11. Okay, now again, given the cost function, what is the fixed cost? What is the average cost? And what's the total variable cost? This is just very easy. Yeah, very easy. Fixed cost is 500. Total variable cost would be the one that contains the x, 3x plus 4x squared. Average cost would be the cost divided by x. So it's 500/x plus 3 plus 4x. Right? This one divided by x. Total variable, average variable cost. Yeah. Thank you, Yangzi. What I can't read. I can't read your name, the last word. How to pronounce that one? Total variable cost, average variable cost. Average variable cost would be the total variable cost divided by x. Yun, okay, Yang Ziyun. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your response. Okay, now average variable cost is the total variable cost divided by x, right? So that is this one over x. So that is 3 plus 4x. Okay, and the per unit variable cost. What is per unit variable cost? Per unit variable cost is also the average variable cost. So that is the same. Yeah, per unit variable cost is also the same. Is equal to this one, 3 plus 4x. All right. Now I'm going to discuss one last question. Maybe this one. Question 12. What is the fixed cost and per unit variable cost? Fixed cost is 21900, the one that contains a number only, right? Per unit variable cost. Now we need to find the total variable cost first. Total variable cost is 24x, right? Per unit variable cost would be the average variable cost. Yeah. So the average variable cost would be 24x divided by x. That is 24. Yeah, that is the per unit variable cost. Rewrite the price demand function, express P in terms of x. So where is the demand function? X equals to 1000 minus 5p. So we need to put p on the left and all the other numbers and variables on the right. So now bring this x minus 1000 equals to negative 5p. Right, bring this one to the left first. We can write the other way around. Yeah, it doesn't, like how to do it doesn't matter. Now p equals to x minus 1000 divided by negative 5, right? So it is 200 minus x over 5. Yeah. Negative 1000 divided by negative 5 is plus 200, positive. Or 200 minus x over 5. Again, the order here is not important. You can even write like this. This is also correct. Negative 1 over 5x plus 200. If you prefer to put the x first. In this case, I put the number first. X over 5 means 1 over 5x. Right? X over 5 means 1 over 5x. And don't forget the minus. That is a price function. Now express the revenue and profit function. Revenue is Px, right? Price times quantity. So that would be 200x minus x squared over 5. Just take this one times x. The profit is revenue minus cost. Minus, what is the cost just now? 24x plus. So this would be minus x over 5. Like this. Now, if you are asked to find the x value that makes the firm break even, can you find the x? Can you find the x for this equation, for this quadratic equation? Can you find the factorization for this? If you use your calculator, then it's easier. Yeah, you will get x1 equals to 150. If you find the break-even point, and x2 equals to 730. Right, you can see that this is a big number. So if you have the calculator, then it's much easier. Right, it's much easier to do this. So to do the factorization for this, first you need to multiply. I mean, if you do it manually, you have to multiply by 5. Each of these multiply by 5, so that you will get negative x squared plus 176 times 5. Is 880 minus like this. So it's a big number, right? And you do the factorization. Of course, as I said, if you know how to use the calculator to do it, it will be much easier for you. So you got x1 equals to 150, x2 equals to 370. How do you put it in the factorization form? This is x minus 150, x minus 730, because this is minus, so you can have something like this. Yeah, so that you can have x. This is this one, negative plus, right? Okay, so this is the break-even point. I think if you don't have, what if you don't have calculator? I think you can also do it online maybe. Try to type online quadratic calculator. I never try online. I think you can do it online. Yeah, you can put it here. Yeah, this will be maybe even easier for you, but only only when you are like you're taking the exam online. If you are doing it offline, then you can't get access to computer. Then you will have problem. Yeah. Now, why did I show did I show you using the calculator? Here I'm showing you using the calculator is that I want you to understand, and I want you to understand the concept behind, like actually how do we do this factorization. Yeah, not just not for you to use it without understanding. So for example, here want to enter this, so this is negative. I'm not sure if this can find factorial, a fraction. Negative 1/5, 176, and negative. Yeah, got it. 150 and 730. Yeah, but if to turn it around, to turn it into the factorization form like this, you have to put it like this. You have to put it like this. Don't just write your answer like this. You have to put it like this, so that after this, put x equal to 150 and x equal to 730. Just to show that you have to write this step first, to show that it's that just to pretend that you did this manually. Yeah, and you've got the answer, even though you got it from the calculator. Yeah, if you don't have the calculator, you can also do it here. Yeah, given they are not imaginary. If it's imaginary number, then you can't solve it like this. Or it is maybe if it is the decimal number, I don't know. If it's decimal number, maybe you will have the output also in decimal number. Sometimes it is in the it's in the third number, the square root. Yeah, the square root number. Okay, I think it's enough for this one. Now moving on to inequality. Yeah, I will discuss inequality with you before we take a break. Now, inequality is we are dealing with the sign where it is smaller than, greater than, or smaller or equal. This is called greater than. Yeah, greater than. That means that left hand side is greater than right hand side. The one with open open side, this is greater. Yeah, the open side is greater. The one with the closed side is smaller. Yeah, so this means 5 is greater than 3. Yeah, if you put it in number, we put it like this. 5 is greater than 3. And then this is how we read it. Yeah. If we have greater or equal, then this is read as 5 is greater or equal to 3. Yeah. If it's smaller, then 3 is smaller than 5, like this. 3 is smaller than 5. Or if you have equal sign, then 3 is smaller or equal to 5. Okay, so this means inequality. Yeah, the left-hand side is not equal to the right-hand side. And in fact, it is governed by this inequality, okay, by this inequality sign. So if when it is equal sign, any mathematical operation done on one side of an equation must be done on the other side to maintain the relationship of the equation, right? Just like when you want to find 2x, when you have equal, 2x equal to 5. Now, to find x, you need to divide both sides with 2, right? So divide this one by 2, this one also by 2, right? And got 5, x equal to 5 over 2. Right? Whatever you do on the left, you must also do it on the right. So this applies to inequality as well. Yeah, any mathematical operation done on one side of the inequality must be also done on the other side to maintain the relationship, except multiplying or dividing a negative number, in which case the sign changes. So please bear in mind that, please remember, this is very important. When you are doing multiplication or division of negative number, yeah, on the inequality, the sign changes. That means that, for example, originally you have 5 greater than 3, right? So now if you multiply both sides with -1, meaning that you put it negative number. So now if you multiply both sides with -1, this becomes -5. This becomes -3. Now this sign, can you maintain it like this? This is wrong, right? How can -5 greater than -3? -5 is actually smaller than -3, right? Because negative number, if you put it in the scale like this is 0. This is 1, 2, 3. Positive number, no problem. 5 greater than 3. That is correct. For negative number, this is the other way around. So the more negative it is, the smaller is the number, right? So -5 here is actually smaller than -3. So you have to turn this around. Yeah, instead of greater than, now you have to change it. You have to change the sign to smaller. Yeah, only when you perform multiplication or division on the inequality, you need to change the sign. Plus or minus, no problem at all. Yeah, for example, you have 5 greater than 3. Now, if you want to take +2 both sides, so 5 plus 2, this one plus 2, the sign still maintain. 7 greater than 5. Same for negative number. If you have 5, originally 5 greater than 3. Now you want to do minus, let's say -6. Yeah, so 5 minus 6 become -1 greater than -3. This is still correct, right? Plus and minus, the sign never change. Only for multiplication and division, the sign change. All right. Now let's do a quick example. Now find the x value. What is x here? So x here, I mean, if this inequality, if the function, if this is an equality question, then the answer will also in a range, or will be also in inequality. Yeah, you will not have equal. Yeah. So for example, here you need to find x. You need to find the range of x, or the interval for x. Yeah, the interval for x. So now you have to bring this one to the right. Yeah, that means that you have to -1 on both sides. Yeah, so first -1 both sides, or you bring this to the right. Yeah, so +1, bring to the right, become -1. So -3x minus 9. The sign is still the same because this is minus. Yeah, minus. Now, to take this -3 to the right, you have to divide by -3, right? Divide it by -3. When you do the division of negative number, the sign change from smaller than to greater. Yeah, greater than. So now x is greater than -3. All right, x is greater than -3. What does it mean by x is greater than -3? That means that x can only take number that is greater than -3. For example, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and dot, dot, dot. Yeah. Other than that, this inequality doesn't hold. For example, let's substitute -2 in the inequality. So 1 minus 3 times -2, it is smaller than 10. 1 plus 6, so 7 smaller than 10, which is correct, right? So now let's try -3. We said that x must be greater than -3, doesn't include -3. So what if we substitute -3? So 1 minus 3 times -3. So 1 plus 9, smaller than 10. So 10 is not smaller than 10, right? Actually, this is equal. Yeah. So you see that when x equal to -3, this doesn't hold. Yeah, this doesn't hold. This is incorrect because 10 is not greater than, is not smaller than 10. If you try -4, it also incorrect. It doesn't hold. Yeah. So if you try -4, so 1 plus 12 becomes 13. 13 is actually greater than 10. It's not smaller than, so it doesn't hold. So it only holds, this condition or this inequality only holds when x is greater than -3. If you consider x is an integer, then it can take -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, up to infinity. Yeah. So this interval makes this makes this inequality hold. Okay, make this inequality true. Right. So that is the definition of finding the interval of x for this interval or for this inequality. Now let's do some question. Yeah. But this is too messy. I need to pause it and reopen it. Okay, now let's do some quick, this one first. Yeah, let's do this one. Okay, so now we have find the intervals of x which satisfy the following. Yeah, I want to find x, and here it is a cubic. It has cubic. This is the highest degree is 3. So bring all the values to the left and then solve it accordingly. So 3 minus x squared plus 8x squared plus x. So bring all this to the other side. So minus 2x squared minus 3 minus 9x and smaller than 0. Yeah, because we have brought all of these to the left and this becomes 0. And these are only plus minus. So the sign is still the same, smaller than 0. So now negative x3 plus x2 minus 2x squared plus x squared, 8x squared minus 2x squared. So become plus 6x squared, right? Plus x minus 9x minus 8x. 3 minus 3, 0. Sorry, smaller than 0. Right? So now bring this x out because the common term is x. You have x cubed, x squared, and x. So bring out the x. Yeah, I bring negative x. So now this one becomes x squared minus 6x plus 8, smaller than 0. And do factorization. 4 and 2. Because this is 8. Yeah, 4 and 2. So now you have this one. Now you have these 3 terms, right? Now, when you have these 3 terms, you're going to use there are 2 ways to do this. There are 2 ways, yeah. Method 1 is using substitution of number. Substitution of values of number. This is method 1. Okay. Now, there will be 3 numbers. 3 numbers. So here assume. So here x. You want to find the cutting point. So x equal to 0, x equals to 4, and x equal to 2. Yeah. So these are the 3 cutting points. 0, 2, and 4. Right? 0, 2, and 4. These are the 3 cutting points. You want to find the interval of x. Yeah, whether it is smaller than 0. For this interval, it is smaller than 0. This interval would be between 0 and 2. This interval would be between 2 and 4. This interval would be greater than 4. You want to find which interval that is correct. That is the correct interval that makes this true. That makes this interval true. All right, it can be in any of these intervals, right? So now we can use substitution of values, right? So now, so in this interval, that means that x is smaller than 0, right? This is x. X is smaller than 0, so we can substitute any value. Let's substitute x equal to -1. Substitute x equal to -1 in this equation, and see whether this equation is smaller than 0 or greater than 0. If smaller than 0 means negative, right? Greater than 0 means positive. So now you can key in this equation into your calculator and substitute x equal to -1. Yeah. You can also let me find this. Now, now you can substitute a value in your calculator easily. Yeah, because you're gonna substitute 4 values. You need to find 1 values here, -1, and then 1 value here. Let's say you choose x equal to 1, and then x equal to 1 is in the second interval, and x equal to 3 that is in the third interval, and then substitute another 1, x equal to 5 in the fourth interval. So you need to do 4 times of substitution. I know you can do it manually. If you do it manually, maybe you'll take a slightly longer time. Yeah. If you know how to use calculator to do it, again, that is very convenient. Okay, because you just need to key in this equation in the calculator, this equation, and just substitute x equal to -1, the calculator will give you the answer. Is it negative or positive? Substitute x equal to 1, calculator will give the answer. Is it negative or positive? Right? So you can watch in the video how to do the substitution of values. Now you can see that this is a complex function. This is a complex function, and you want to find substitute. You want to substitute 3 in this function, and see what is the value of f(x), right? And then you want to also substitute x equal to 4 in this function and see what is the value of f(x). And you want to substitute 0.5 in this one to see what is the value of f(x). And of course, you can do it manually. Substitute x equal to 3 in this function and find it. And as I mentioned, as I said just now, it is time consuming. Yeah, you need longer time. So you can use a calculator to do the substitution for you. So use a calculator, just the normal mod, yeah. So now you key in this function on your calculator. It is a fraction, right? So you put a fraction and you put exactly this one on your calculator. If it contains bracket, put exactly the bracket, just like this. Now, please double check your function. You got the correct function, right? If you are using the MS version, if you are using your calculator is a MS version, you have to, it is not given as fraction like this, in this form. You have to input the, this one, you have to put this one, yes, divided by, and then put all this in one bracket as a denominator. I'm not sure if I can find the MS version. I will try to find the MS version for you to see. So next is to first click this CALC. Yeah, after you have keyed in the function in the calculator, you click this CALC, that is to calculate. Yeah, so when you click calculate, it's asking you X question mark. Yeah, so meaning that the calculator is asking you what X you want to substitute. So now you just click the first one, you just click 3 and then click equal. That is the value you want to substitute in your X. So 3 equal. So that is negative 17 over 40. Yeah, the good thing is, the benefit of using calculator is the next time you want to substitute a value, you don't need to key in this complex function anymore, because this function is already in your calculator. So you just need to click calculate again, substitute X equal to 4, and then get the answer. Yeah, that is the good thing about using calculator. Yeah, when you do many substitution, just like in our case here, we need to substitute 4 values. So it will be extremely useful by using the calculator. Right? So you see this is the the convenient, when you do a substitution. If you're using the MS version, it is also the same. It is under the CALC, the calculate function, this one here, the calculate. Yeah, but just that you need to key in exactly the correct function on your calculator, right? So now back to our example. So now you can key in this function on your calculator, negative x squared plus 6x squared minus 8x. Yeah, on your calculator. So you can do it together with me now, right? Now just switch it back to the normal mod. Just click mod and then click number 1. Yeah, click mod and then choose 1 to switch it back to the normal mod. The normal mod on your calculator. And now put this function in your calculator. Negative x cubed. Now, how do you get x? You know how to get x. X is under this the pink one, the pink, I don't know if you're using that. Maybe I show you here. It is under here. This one, alpha, and then this one. Alpha here means you want to access this one, the X, and on top of it. Yeah, on top of this. Alpha, this, I think the alpha bracket. Yeah, one of these brackets. You will see whether, I think maybe it's this one or this one. It depends on the calculator. Yeah. So you put this one, negative X, I use alpha, and then the bracket X cubed plus 6X squared minus 8X, right? And then I click calculate. I click calculate. The first value and I'm going to substitute is -1. That is 15. So that is 15. So that means that here fx equals to 15. So this is plus here. Yeah. So when x is smaller than 0, fx is a positive. So positive, I put it here. I just want to know the sign. I'm not interested to know the value. I just want to see whether the sign is positive or negative. Because whatever values you substitute here, as long as it's smaller than 0, you will get all positive. You can substitute -2. You see it is 48. It's still positive. So whatever value that is smaller than 0, x smaller than 0, the fx is always positive, right? Now, in between 0 and 2, you can choose 1. You can choose 0.5 if you prefer, or you can choose 1.2 if you prefer, because we are just interested to know the sign. So now you click calculate again in the calculator and choose 1. And this is negative, right? So whatever values you choose in this interval, you will get negative fx. You'll get negative. Then choose a value that's in between this interval, between 2 and 4. So we choose 3, right? This is positive again. And then whatever value that is greater than 4, let's choose 5. So this is negative again, right? So now, when it comes to the selection of interval, you have to refer to the question. So the questions wants you to find the x value that makes the function smaller than 0, that makes the function negative, right? So you need to choose this one and this one. And the correct interval for x is in between 0 and 2, and then greater than 4. So these are the intervals that makes the function negative. Yeah, in between 0 and 2 and greater than 4. No equal sign because originally this interval doesn't have equal sign. Yeah, so it's in between 0 and 2 and 4. Or you can also put the interval in the notation, like the bracket notation. Yeah, if you put this one in the bracket notation, this means like this. Greater than 4. So from 4 to infinity. Like this. Yeah. The normal bracket means small, I mean, this is like smaller than. Yeah. If the square bracket, if you put square bracket, that means that it is like this. X is greater or equal to 0 and smaller or equal to 2. Yeah. Or you may have one side is square bracket, another side is the normal bracket. Then it becomes like this. Yeah. If this is square bracket, that means smaller or equal to. If this is just normal cross bracket, that means smaller than. Okay, like this. You can either put your answer in this form or in this form, in the inequality form or in the bracket notation. Now for this one here, when it's greater than 4, it's greater than 4, what does it mean? Greater than 4 means that it can be any number that is greater than 4 up to infinity. So you may have 4 up to infinity. And remember that for infinity, you will never have square bracket because we never know what value is for infinity. Infinity is a super large number. Yeah, it's a very, very large number. So we never include the value of infinity, but we will just put a normal bracket like this. Same for negative infinity. if you have x smaller than -4, how do you put this answer in the bracket form? This would be from -infinity up to -4, like this. Yeah, the smallest value, -infinity up to -4. Either you can either put your answer like in this form or in this form. Yeah, both are acceptable. Now, this is the first method, yeah, using the substitution of values. We take out the common number, can I just take out x instead of -x? You mean here, you can just take x. If you take x, then you will have something like this, x, and then -x squared plus 6x squared plus minus 8x. You will have like this. Yeah, and then you do the factorization here. So you will still have something like this. You will still have this with x. You will have x, and then you have -x plus 4x minus 2, 0. So you will still get x equal to 0, x equal to 4, x equal to 2 as a cutting point. As a cutting point. Okay. Now, the second method is using the, what do you call it? The line graph method. Yeah, the line graph method. I show you both. Both methods will give you the same answer, and it is up to you. If you prefer to use the first method, that's fine. If you prefer to use the second method, that's also fine to you. Yeah. So I will showing you the second method, which is using the line graph method. So just now we found that it's like this. Yeah, we rewrite this interval. Right? So again, we find the cutting point, x equal to 0, x equal to 4, and x equal to 2. Now, here I will assume, or I will let all of this greater than 0. Yeah. So I always let all this greater than 0. This is just a step. Yeah. Let this one greater than 0. So now if this one greater than 0, x becomes smaller than 0, because it is negative. This is negative. So this become when you divide both sides by -1, this sign changes. Yeah, this sign changes. So now x greater than 4, x greater than 2. Now I will draw the line graph. I know the cutting point is 0, 2, and 4. That's as previous. So now I need to draw 3 lines. Yeah. One is x smaller than 0. So it's on this side. This means x smaller than 0. And then second line is x greater than 4. And then the third line, x greater than 2. So x greater than 2 and x greater than 4. Right, like this. There are 3 lines. Now, I need to consider if I see the line, if there is line, I will put a positive sign. Yeah, so there is line in this interval. So plus, and no line in this for this one. So negative minus here, right? And there is no line, so minus, plus, and no line again. So minus, plus, minus. This one is minus, 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 because there are no lines at all. Yeah, and this one would be minus, minus, plus, because this one with lines. So now I combined it. Plus, plus, minus becomes minus. Minus, plus, minus becomes plus. As long as you have even number of minus, it becomes plus. You have odd number of minus, it becomes minus. You have even number of minus, it becomes plus, right? So this is the sign for each interval. Now, when it comes to choose the interval, which one to choose? Go back to the question. The question wants the smaller than, which is negative. So I choose negative and negative. And the correct interval is x in between 0 and 2, x greater than 4. The same answer as the first method, isn't it? X in between 0 and 2, x greater than 4. Yeah. So here, what now you may ask why do I use let x greater than 0? Always let x greater than 0. Now, if you let x greater than 0, here, then when you see the lines, you will put a positive. If you put, you can also let x smaller than 0. But then if you let x smaller than 0, that will be the reverse. When you see lines, you will put negative. Yeah, you will see line, you will put negative, because you can see here when the line is going to this way, it is positive. But if you let x smaller than negative, smaller than 0, then when you see lines, you put negative. And I don't prefer that one. So I always prefer let x greater than 0. I always prefer let x greater than 0. And when I draw the line graph, when I see lines, I will put positive. When I see no lines, I put negative. All right. I think let's take a break here. Yeah, I will show you more example. Yeah, the interval question, this is when you have just in one line. You may also have the fraction. Yeah, the fraction in inequality. And I will show you later. Yeah. Let's take a break. So it's 5:02. Let's take 20 minutes break. So let's come back at 5:22. All right, 5:22. Okay. Meanwhile, I mean, if you want to try out the question, you want to try out this business application question, you are fine. You can also do. You can also proceed. Yeah. Otherwise, we will just we will just you will just take a break and then we'll continue later. Yeah. 5:22. We'll come back. Okay. See you later. question 6C. Oops. I have to close this one. I think when the file is too big, then my computer tends to crash. So I need to close it. Uh-oh. It's not working again. Okay. So I will just use the Notepad. Okay. I'm going to do question 6. Right here. Where's the writing pad? Okay, I'm going to write here. Okay, so this function now is given in fraction, right? It's given in fraction. And we need to find the intervals where fx is greater or equal to 0 and fx is smaller than 0, right? So it doesn't matter which one because for this one, it's just a positive. We need to choose the positive sign. And for this one, smaller than 0, we need to choose a negative sign. So if when we do one, we can also find the other one automatically, right? So it doesn't matter which one we do. So here we will do number 1, that is the positive. And then we will also we can automatically find the negative one, right? Now this is a fraction. And this you can see this is a quadratic. The numerator is a quadratic. The denominator, it consists of the quadratic and also the linear. So this would be like a cubic. So now first we have to factorize the numerator. Yeah, we have to factorize and we want to find the endpoint. Right, I'll be showing you how do we use both methods to solve this question. So first we factorize this one. X minus, so this is 12. So this, if this is 12, we can use 1 times 12, 2 times 6, or 3 times 4. In this case here, we use 2 times 6 because this is 4, right? So it's 2 and 6. And this should be, because this is plus 4x, so it should be plus 6x minus 2, right? So plus 6 minus 2 is plus 4x. And then we have the denominator, we just copy. You don't need to factorize because this is already in the simplest form. Now, first, using substitution of method. Substitution of numbers, yeah, of values. Now find the endpoint. So the endpoint for this would be let this equal to 0. Yeah, and of course you want to find this one greater or equal to 0. So you want to find this greater or equal to 0. That is question 1. So the endpoint would be x equal to 2, x equal to -6, x equal to 3, and x equal to -1. Yeah, let each of these equal to 0. So x minus 2 equal to 0. So x equal to 2, x plus 6 equal to 0, x equal to -6, x equal to 3, x equal to -1. So there are 4 endpoints. Yeah, there are 4 endpoints. And you put them in the scale like this. -1, starting from the smallest one, that is -6, -1, 2, and 3. Now, you must put this order in the correct way, in the correct order, starting from the smallest one. Yeah, don't simply put -1 and then -6 here. You must put it in the correct order. Otherwise, the interval will be you'll be wrong, right? Okay, so there are 4 numbers and 5 intervals. The number of intervals will be always 1 greater than the numbers, right? 4 numbers, 5 intervals. So these intervals means x smaller than -6. This intervals is in between -6 and -1. This interval will be in between -1 and 2, and so on, right? Pak Taek Wan, why were you not here just now? So you were late. If you don't answer me in time, then I will mark late. Okay, this one now. So now I would substitute using 5 numbers, yeah, in these 5 intervals. So here you can just use any number. You can use x equal to -7, and then x equal to, in between this one, you can use -2. You can use 0. Use a simple number. Yeah, of course you can use a decimal number, but then the computation will be harder. Yeah, I mean, if you're using calculator, then it's fine. If you're doing it manually, then you just use a simple number so that you can substitute easily into the function. And then here you use 2.5. And then here you use 3 or you use 4. Yeah, more than 3, use 4. So substitute these 5 numbers into the original function, this one. So key in this function in your calculator. Yeah. If you don't have a calculator, then what should you do? If you don't have a calculator, then you have to do it manually. You substitute this one manually in here. So for example, when you have -7, put here, you have -7 minus 2 is -7 plus 6 is negative, and then divided by, this would be -7 minus, and this would be plus, yeah, because this is square. So minus plus becomes minus, like this. I put each of this one into here. You don't need to find the value. We just want to know the sign, right? So if you can do it manually. When you have -2, put it here. So this would be -2 plus 6 plus -2 minus plus, and this become plus, like this. Do it like this. Okay. But if you have a calculator, then you just put this one in the calculator and use your calculator to do the substitution for you. I'm going to put this one in my calculator. X squared plus 4x divided by okay. So I click calculate. When x is -7, is minus 32 over 2 over 5. Yeah, it's a decimal number or fraction. So minus. And then when x is -2, x is fx is positive, right? When x is 0, this is 4, so this is positive. When x is 2.5, this is negative. When x is 4, this is positive. Okay, now which one shall we choose? Now we should choose this one that is greater than 0. Yeah, positive. So that means that we should choose this one, and this one, the positive sign. Now, how do we know which one is greater or which one is the greater or equal or just greater? Yeah. So now we have to, before that, I have to label it here. So for 6, can x equal exactly to 6? Now, if it's appear in the numerator, then if this is equal sign, then you can have equal to 6. Yeah, that means that this is a black dot, a fill dot. Black dot means that 6 can be included. Yeah, if it's just empty dot, that means that the number is not included. Can x equal to 2? Yes. When x equal to 2, this will equal to 0, which is okay, because this one is greater or equal to 0. So when x equal to 2, this will be 0. So 2 is included, but not for the denominator. The denominator value can never equal to 0 because you cannot divide something with 0. Yeah, for example, you have 3 divided by 0. This is error. You can try put this one in your calculator and you will get error. Because in mathematics, you never divide a number by 0. Okay, never divide a number by 0. So x can never equal to 3. So this is an empty dot, or it's just a empty circle. Yeah, and x can never be -1 as well. So it's empty circle. So the interval is in between -6 and -1. So -6 is included. X is greater or equal to -6 and smaller than -1, right? And then from here, -1, x is greater than -1, smaller or equal to 2. And then x is greater or equal to, just greater than, yeah, exclude, greater than 3. So these are the 3 intervals. Now for this one, you can also combine these 2 intervals into one. You can put it like this. This is acceptable, or we can put it even like this. From 6 to 2, but then x not equal to -1. Okay. So meaning that x can take any value from -6 to 2, exclude x equal to -1, because x cannot be -1. When x equal to -1, it will make this one undefined. Yeah, it will make this undefined. Yeah, when you have -1, because this will become 0, and the denominator cannot equal to 0. This Microsoft Word, really? Okay. Okay. So that is the first method, using substitution of values. Now I'm going to show you by using the second method. Using the line graph method, or the line number. Yeah? So what is just now? Okay, let me rewrite it. I want to find greater than 0. Now, just now we found that this one is these 3 intervals that make fx greater or equal to 0. What about smaller than 0? Smaller than 0 will be this one. Will be this is when fx greater or equal to 0. When fx is smaller than 0, the interval would be this part, the negative part, x smaller than -6. Now this time, when the problem is smaller than, it doesn't have this equal sign. So the interval will also exclude the equal sign. All right. So it will be just smaller than -6. And in between 2 and 3, also exclude the number. Yeah. So x is in between 2 and 3. Okay, exclude. Because this never be 0. Fx cannot equal to 0. Smaller than 0. So we don't include the value. We don't include the value 2. We don't include the value -6. So the sign will be just open. I mean, it will be just like open. Yeah, just the exclusion. Okay. Now, using the line graph method, also we factorize it. We have done the factorization just now. Yeah, and we know the endpoint. We know the endpoint is x equals to -6, x equal to 2, x equal to 3, x equal to -1, right? This step is the same. It's the same as the previous one. Now, we need to let or assume, yeah, let each of these term greater than 0, greater or equal to 0. Let x plus 6 greater or equal to 0, x minus 2 greater or equal to 0, x minus 3 greater than 0 only. We don't have equal sign because this is in the denominator. When it's denominator, this cannot be equal to 0. Yeah. So whatever denominator it is, I mean, whatever number in the denominator, it cannot equal to 0. You will just have greater than, or if it's smaller than, just have smaller than. Yeah. I mean, this step here, if this is smaller than, we will also let this greater than 0. This is just the, it's just the step, just the working step. And then this one, greater than 0. Now, because of this is square, so if this is square, we have to write 2 times. So this would be greater than -1, x greater than -1 twice. Yeah, because this is square. So x plus 1 greater than 0. X greater than -1, x greater than -1, because this is square term. So we need to have it twice. That means that when we draw the lines, we will have 2 lines for this. We have the two stem lines. Two lines for this 2. And this would be greater than 3. This would be greater or equal to 2. This would be greater or equal to -6. Right? So now we draw the line. So there are 4 numbers, 4 cutting points, just like previously. And now we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take note that this contains 2 lines, although they are the same line. They're the same line, right? So greater or equal to 6, a field dot greater. So going this side. Greater or equal to 2, and greater or equal to -1. So I do this one by one. Yeah? So you can see that there are 2 lines for this. Yeah, and then greater or equal to 2, so field. And then x greater than 3. So there are in total 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because you have 4 numbers, here you should have 5 lines. I mean, because this is square, so you need to do it twice. Yeah, if this is not square, then you just need 1 line. If it is cube, if it's a cubic, like if this is to the power of 3, then you should have 3 lines. You should have 3 lines for x greater than -1 if it is cubic. Now, the one with line, we put a positive sign. So 5 positive, and this is 1 negative. This one would be 2 negative. This one would be 4 negative. This one would be 5 negative. If you have odd number of negative, it's negative. If you have even number of negative, become positive. So even number positive, odd number negative. Even this is all positive. So now choose the positive. This one, and this one. Right? So now it's in between -6 to -1, -1 to 2, and x greater than 3. Okay, so exactly the same answer. Exactly the same answer as we previously found, right? So this is the second method. Some of you may prefer to use the graph as well. We can like sketch the graph. Yeah, if you know how to do it, then you can also use the graph method. But I'm not going to show the graph method here. Yeah, I think the substitution of number and the line graph, they are enough. Yeah, enough for you. You choose either one of these. You choose either one of these. Up to you. It's up to you. You just need to choose one. You don't need to do both. All right. That is this question. Now STEM for this one here. For question B, if you're going to use the line graph, you see that the denominator is x squared. So that means that there will be two lines for x greater than 0. There are two lines for x greater than 0. Yeah, because this is x squared. When you see square, you have to do like 2 times apple. If it is x, you just 1 time. Now, let's do, yeah, these are more interval questions. Let's do one, but it's almost time. Yeah. I think, yeah, we have not enough time to do the question here. So I think I will stop here. And now for this exercise, you can do all the questions now. You can do, for the business application question, you need to do all of them. Yeah, but for inequality question, if you still can't solve some of the question, I can spend some time next week, yeah, to discuss some of the question with you. All right, if you have problem with some of these questions, yeah, I will spend some time to discuss with you next week. All right, but you can try to do them first. You can try to do them. For business application, you need to do them all, right? Question 7 to 14. Yeah, do them all. For the interval question, just try as much as you can. If you can do them, then it's good. Okay, so I will see you next week then.